What up, old Uncle Two? Back with you once again, a little bit late here on Sunday evening. Had an eventful weekend. How about you? Hope you had a great one. I did, and I'm sure you did too. All right, let's get into this quick weekly outlook. Well, the best laid plans, right? So, as we talked about last week, in case break glass, in case of emergency, what is the position to be in? Should we break this 7,000-ish level? Well, the next spot is 6,500, and here we are. It's Sunday evening, and we're still we're almost there already. We closed the market down here around the same time as weekly lows, but we were under the support of the range, and we rejected off the top off that. So we broke below support, and then we rejected from what was support, and then became resistance. So that was sort of a one-way ticket, especially because it's the second time. So here we are. This is the first stop that we talked about last week, but we sort of need to clean off the chessboard and start over, right? This count doesn't actually work anymore. Okay, so what do we have here? All right, let's remove what we got. We're going to sort of work on this a little bit live. We're going to zoom out to the daily chart. Conceivably, we should probably expect that we have completed some sort of an impulsive wave to this degree. And then, of course, there's going to be folks that say, well, then it must be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't think so. I've said for ages that I believe that this was a second 2. If we go to the log, it doesn't really change much. In theory, still technically could be a 4 if this were all of a 1. You could also still have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 coming in. It's hard to say. It's always very tough to say when counting this chart, because what it loves to do is give you these very shallow wave 2s. So the first thing that people are going to do is say, oh, if we're going to put in a wave 2 of some larger degree, it's going to be really deep. Well, that's not necessarily true, right? Because let's see. There you go. 382. 382 I found is the favorite 2 of this chart. Here we go. Another one here. That one was 236, or maybe 382 if you pull from there. If we pull from this one, which it clearly was, this chart loves to pay in time and not in price, and we've been paying a lot in time lately. But we are on log. There we go. Get out of log. Okay, 236 on that one. Then we had the COVID, which was, of course, the deepest you're going to get, which was all, I would say, at 335, right? So, oh man, that was deep, right? What was it that deep? Was it really that deep? Just a little bit past the 382. Okay, so we've established that we're not going to freak out, right? COVID, and this is the count that I've had for years. Anybody who pays any attention to me knows that this has been a 2 to me for years. 2, and then I get berated every time, right? So go ahead, light me up. I'm sure you know better, right? Okay, so there's your 1, 2, working on 3, and what's funny is people have said this way back here, berated me, and look how we've elevated in our approach and our attack angle, as I like to call it, but really slope, right? It's elevating, it's becoming more steep. It is a typical wave 3. So I think that while people are going to want to panic, because that's just the natural inclination of the fucking plebs, not yet time to panic. Even if we do get past this area of support, which, it could get a little funky if we do. But let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is just not a 4. It's just not. This is a 2. And it's an actually deep one. So that's setting us up. Oops. Let's check quickly there. Yeah, look at that. Through there. Okay. Checking this. This will be a nice little algo pool right there. Let's put it back to this. Now we're focused on algos real quick. Just doing some live analysis for you guys. Okay. Yep. So we have the confluence point setting up of this low, which is the target area that we're already looking for, is around that 6550, 6500. Call it even down into this area. So should we break this zone, just looking at your support and resistance levels, right? Nothing special, right? There's your first. But what are we right above there? Oh, we're right above the golden lumper, our Fibonacci, our golden ratio. And where's that? That's right around 4 of 1 further less degree, right? Because if we're looking for wave 2s, where do they typically end? People get so caught up in, oh, it needs to be 50%. It needs to be, I just showed you how 50% is atypical in this market, right? So calm down there. And you know what else is typical is sideways, which is what we've kind of been doing here, right? So we can go through and we'll count this in the possibilities coming up here in a second. But shallow and sideways are the standard. So don't freak out there. So where do we go if we're going to follow the theory? Well, most of us, I mean, everybody who's criticizing to their screen right now knows better than me, right? But you also know that wave 4, the most common place for a retracement to end is at the previous wave 4 of 1 lesser degree, most often at the terminus of that previous wave 4. And if it does break through there, then where? Next, the following wave 4 after that. One of the strongest things about this theory that I wonder how many people are like, oh, I thought I knew theory pretty good, and I just learned that. So, I mean, that's day 1 shit. A lot more to learn. Anyway, the next wave 4 is down in here, terminus of which is at this level. And it seems, well, I don't know. It's hard. We'd have to zoom in more. But we'll say anywhere between, at that point, 62.50 to 63, under 65.5. So we'll open this zone up just a little bit more there. So these are the next 2 zones that we're going to look to. And then we're going to do full pull for that. And we already said this market loves the 236 right up. Look at that, right in our hot zone. And where else is it like the 382? Oh, right. Look, 382 right below that terminus of yet another wave 4 of 1 lower degree with this support level. Look at all this VPVR, huge volume down in through here. This is either going to one of two. If we get this far, right, we may never see this again. But if we get this far, what we're going to find is that we either move right through it or we reject from it. As of right now, it's the middle of the night. Markets haven't opened, but I bet you when they do, we've already shot through all of this meat, right? So we've happily moved through this area of price acceptance on the VPVR. Now we have this very low volume node. So this is either going to act as resistance or we'll shoot right through it, and the bottom of it should act as support. I said resistance. I meant support. Either the top or the bottom almost assuredly will act as support. We're holding up here, but as you can see, I mean, we're on a 3-day candle, so this thing just looks like a straight red dilly. We'll zoom in here in a second. So we have the full pull 382, full pull 236. We have the lower numbers here. We're not even going to focus on those right now. Let's get down onto the daily. Three down here. Do we want to call this? All right, let's just swing it out here, boys. 1, 2. And this has been such a debate. And I've honestly, most of this move up, I've been fairly punted. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3, 4. So quite possible we could have a 5 here, and this is the start of the 2. But because I did have this counted as a diagonal, but was it an impulsive subwave structure? Let's get it over to something I'd like to look a little better at. We'll go down to the 1 hour. Now, we're going to look at this to see that if it's, didn't mean to do that, impulsive subwave structure, which it is. So it would only be able to be a leading diagonal at that point. So we're going to say that it's more likely going to be probably a 3-wave structure at this juncture. So if it's 3, A, B, oh, I see. I see it here. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. because this doesn't meet the minimum wave 4 expectations. Let's see, throw this on there just to see. Nope, there's no wick down, so that's quite small. So we're gonna say that this is, we're gonna just swing it out for you here. We're gonna go A, B, C, A, B, C, A, B, C, something like this. So zigzag subwave structure gives you potentially for the one. So there was a diagonal in here after all, something like that. And then this is more, and then additionally, for this to, let's say, go against being an ending diagonal, were this an ending diagonal, the expectation would have been that we would have swiftly retraced, and this is a very reliable expectation, by the way. Can always be wrong. This can be an ending diagonal, right? So everything I'm saying is it could be wrong. But usually when I tell you guys these things like, oh, but then the probability stack up because of this, and there's a lot of things I don't even say in this because I know that, Kai, I love you, buddy. I lose a lot of you guys. So as deep as I go here, I leave a lot out intentionally. And, just don't get to it all. But one of the things is that it's very reliable. Should this be an ending diagonal, it should have swiftly retraced the depth of the length of the ending diagonal, which we did not do. We fucked about for so long. So I just am not calling this an ending diagonal. We are getting swift now, but I would rather call this here. And I am doing this analysis live. So I reserved the right to change my mind, but I don't know that I will, because I tend to believe that we're probably in some sort of a C down here. Let's see. Is this one of these? So that's 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 5. So it's 3, A, B, C. Oh, okay. So A, B, putting in C. And then if that were the case, yep, this is the right degree. So then this would also be zigzag there. And then overall, you put this as, I don't care what you call it. Call it a 2, call it a, well, you'd have to call it a 2. Call it a 4. I don't give a shit. I'm just looking to call the end of potentially where we might finish a correction at, right? The more scared people get, the less you should be. And this, are we feeling surprised? We talked about this last week. I hope not. We knew this. We all knew this was potential. And with with this being wartime, American wartime, where we might send boots on the ground, who knows, right? So we'll just have to keep our eyes and just move as we go. But to me, it looks like we could be putting in some sort of a, let's call it 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. Maybe we're going to do that. Maybe we're going to do something like this. I mean, this doesn't look exactly how I would like it, but yeah, this could be a bitch for a while. Maybe get down to this next level before we go up. I could see that happening with the needing some more swings in here. We're definitely gonna have to develop this idea as we go, but I'm kind of digging this right now. So we're gonna go start length. Funny how that works out. Funny how that works out. All right, so I'm kind of thinking off the top of the dome piece here, something like this. And then this needs to go up a degree. And we'll change the color. Oh, wait, no. That was the right. My fault. Oh, so this would be 3, 3, 3. Oh, yeah. Nice. Yeah, no problem there. Weird, but no problem at all. WXY. Yeah, and actually we kind of see these in this market as well. We'll bump that up to there. So something like this. This is off the cuff, but You know, I told you if we break this level, this is our first area of concern, and we would go from there. We're going to obviously see something like this. We're going to get a big divergence down here. I'm going to say, hey guys, it's time to buy, but we're going to be potentially dumping out of it. But, you know, it could be the swing. Remember, never a bad thing to take positions, longer term positions on three extremes, right? So, but, you know, people might want to be, maybe we do get a massive bounce, sort of like one of these. This market tends to do that. More than so than like you see in crypto, where these little tweezer bottoms. I'm not going to personally bank on that. I'm going to want to see either the tweezer happen or some exhaustion to the low. But I do acknowledge that in this market, we get a lot of these tweezer bottoms. But I'm not looking to make those calls for you out here. So most of the video time probably spent on this chart today because it is the, let's say, the light bearer for all of the risk markets typically, and we're in a war. But also because Bitcoin's just doing what we expected it to do. I mean, I was hopeful. I was giving you reasons. I was giving you the hopium reasons why we could potentially not do this, but it's doing exactly what we've been saying it's going to do the whole time. So we're just gonna take it for what it is and roll with it. So that means, let's get back out here. So that means the expectations haven't changed. Let's see. I'm liking probably that 57 there. Let's see what's going to be relevant to pull. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. And then you come out here, and then we have not had the divergences that I told you we didn't have and that I didn't like that we didn't have. But what did we do? We're getting this, especially for higher time frame, which is where we care more. Look, we're setting ourselves up to come down here and put in to this divergent move that I was just talking about. I'm gonna want to see on the S&P, right? Well, Bitcoin has been weaker. It's a little further advanced, and maybe it'll lead the S&P up before it starts next time. Look at this. 4 of lesser degree, terminus of 4 of lesser degree, all of the things that we're always looking for, right? Let's just pop on. Let's pop that on. Let's pop that on. Okay, so we're holding up on this node here. We're in the daily there. Yeah, and we come down, test the low of the high volume. Again, these areas act as typically support. So we can come down here, kiss this 618, and be on our merry little way. And then we reverse. And that's basically what we've been looking for. And that's just about the time that will have sucked all of the blood from you, and you'll have forgotten about crypto. I've been hearing it on, CNBC and other finance podcasts or more mainstream. Crypto is dead. The people that were into crypto are into something else now. Perfect. That's what we always want to hear, right? How many times have we heard that if you've been in this game for any amount of time? This is the daily. Damn, this is taking forever. So we ended here on a 9. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, we can probably run ourselves down to another 9, and just, once we get that, be on our merry little way. Let's put this out to the weekly. We're on an 8 weekly starting out. I mean, I think the week closed, obviously. So yeah, but this could be a red 8 weekly. So we could have confluence at the end of the week. We could have, because that's 4. So 5 more days. This could really be shaping up for some TD. I don't use TD all the time, but it's always worth checking. Get this shit off my screen. VPVR. We have this range pulled here, but just check it all. Yeah, I like this. I like it. Okay, so Bitcoin doing what we thought it would do. and we'll continue to think that it will do what we think it will do. However, it's probably gonna, as long as we're inside of this channel, it's probably gonna want to fuck about, and then when it comes through, it'll rip, and that's when it's gonna be time to play ball. XRP, it's actually been, I always like to switch to like one of the larger cap alts just to like show that space. It's actually kind of quite held up, but still expecting one more touch lower, just like Bitcoin, just like the rest of the alts, really. Except for Link. I did call the bottom on Link, and I do think that it's going to potentially, that still remains the primary there. We'll see. Tough one to do, but when you got to update charts, you got to update charts. So we're going to stand pat on pretty much our view on crypto completely, while we did have to reverse course a little bit on the S&P. Obviously, from videos from the last few weeks, oil, silver, gold, doing what we thought. Everybody, you would think that gold would be going nuts right now. You'd think that silver would be going nuts right now. Nope, it's doing what we talked about. Go check that video out. Oil, it is going nuts, just like we talked about. So, all right, boys, let's see what this week brings and get into it. Toot out.